My name is Vahid Chitsaz, part of the Elite Mastermind group. Thank you for taking this time and being with us. Miss Jennifer, go ahead and introduce yourself. And what is online yoga? You got to talk to me about that. What is online yoga? Let's get started. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and where you're coming from.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Again, my name is Jennifer Pansa, and I'm tuning in from Miami, Florida. And as you mentioned, I'm a health and wellness strategist. So I support people with getting started with a new routine in their life for yoga and essential oils and how to really transform their minds and their lives with those healthy tools. So I'm really happy to be here, and I love the book. So it's an honor to hop on here and chat with you about what I've learned.
Awesome. You got some pictures on your profile. They look very, very painful. So I'm going to avoid you for this year. I think I was traumatized looking at your pictures. It's crazy. So those moves that you do, it's just crazy. So I'm going to stay away from yoga for this time being. I think I'm going to break some body parts. But let's go. Think and Grow Rich. How did you get started? What's been your experience? And what are a couple of things that you want to share with everybody?
So I love reading books like this, especially ones that have been around for so long. I think this is a classic. This is a staple book to have in the library. And I think that this is a book that I'm going to just listen to on repeat. I downloaded the Audible version of this book. And I think that just listening to the beginning of each chapter as a reminder, because oftentimes we forget some of these principles and some of these powerful transformation tools on a day-to-day basis, that just listening to it and just having it repeat, it can be wonderful for a reminder to reset, start over. And I believe that we are constantly evolving in our process. So reminding ourselves to go back to the basics and go back to the principles in this book. I've never seen a book that's so clearly lays out every step along the way. And just when you're like, oh, that's the thing, the book also reminds you of something else that you maybe didn't think about. So some pure takeaways that I have in terms of what I found valuable in the book is really the excuse I see so often is, in my industry at least, is this specialized knowledge that I think that in yoga world, people tend to think that they have to just learn more. They have to do another training. They have to research more, or they have to know more in order to get to where they want to go. And I love that chapter in the book because it really reminds us that it's important to learn, but it's the execution. It's the alignment of your actions with that knowledge that actually produces the thing that you're looking to create. And that oftentimes we can hide behind that special knowledge. We can hide behind the desire to learn and to, watch Instagram lives like this. We want to read another book. We want to go to another seminar, and that stuff is actually just a form of procrastination, which is the other big takeaway that I always need a reminder on.
Well, I do think they should watch these videos. I do think they should watch these videos. I'm messing with you.
Yes. No, these videos are important, but it's not, you can watch these videos, but that's still not going to get you to where you want to be. You could read this book. This book, you can read it every day and you can just sit and listen to it. And that's not going to do one thing for you to actually achieve what you want to do. You have to take action, and you have to stop procrastinating and using that be in a space of inaction. And that, I think that combination of using the knowledge to fuel that action and being really decisive about that action is the pathway to success. And I think that a lot of times we get nervous or self-conscious about, oh, it's not going to be perfect, so we don't do it, or we hold ourselves back. And just committing to the time, the exact thing that you know that you need to do in order to get there is so much more progressive, and it's so much of a hurdle launcher than any other thing that you can do. It's like, you just say what you want to do, you just do it, you get it on paper, and it may be messy, it may be ugly, but you just figure it out and you just go for it. And it might be like a bull in a china cabinet, but as you practice and as you keep taking those action steps forward, you'll start to refine your presentation, your message, and your energy, and then it will grow into something really beautiful. But you can't do that if you're just hiding at home and reading things and like pretending that you're going somewhere, you know? So I think that a lot of people that are in the self-help or the self-development world can hide behind that. So that's my two big takeaways as a coach and as a yoga teacher and as a wellness entrepreneur guiding other wellness professionals in business. I think that those are the most important things we need to remember to overcome, is to really step outside of the book, step outside of the behind the scenes, get into that state of action, be clear in your action, be committed in your action, and then figure out the rest later.
All right, so I got a bunch of questions for you. So
Sure.
based on your opinion, personal opinion, that you have read the book, what do you think the secret is?
I mean, I think there are no secrets because it's laid out for us in the book. It's clearly stated, the blueprint. I think that there are action steps that you can do in order to create that secret every day. So as from my background of yoga and essential oils and creating routines for myself, I think that it is really important to find your life as a meditation. The secret is to be constantly watching your thoughts. Watch the subconscious patterning. Watch where it leaks out in your actions in your life. Watch what you're saying. Watch your relationships, because those are going to mirror back where there is a hole in your plan, your blueprint. And the more awareness that we can bring to our thoughts, to our actions, to our movements, to our life in general as a form of meditation, then the more dialed we are to that blueprint, and we can plug the holes, we can sit, we can reflect, we can change, and we can ultimately grow and create this life, this dream, this vibration that we're all here on this beautiful channel in this beautiful life, creating moment by moment. And we don't get there without having that awareness, without having that self-reflection. So I think that it's just practice of watching, observing, and then finding out how you can improve. So I know that, this book, you might go through this and you're finding, you're like, oh my gosh, like this week, it's all about overcoming a particular fear that you're blaming. And then next week, it might be back to relationships, and maybe you're doubting yourself. It's like all of these things are going to be constantly evolving and changing. And the image that I'm getting is like a leaky pipe, really, in your house. It's like there's, you got to stick your hands on the parts that's leaking. And if you keep doing that and you keep doing that, pretty soon your pipe is like clear and that water is flowing and it is in one direction, and it's the direction that you want it to go. And then you're happy because you've created something that is valuable. So
my next question is this. I mean, there's a whole entire confusion. I do a lot of meditation.
Sure.
But my meditation, definition of meditation, I think we throw that out there very loosely these days. We just say, oh, this person meditates. So here's what I want to ask question. This is how I meditate. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been working for me. When we meditate, a lot of individuals think it's the whole entire emptiness, where you got to stop all the thoughts and everything else, and then it's just like this dark space. You might see some lights down the line, but you are concentrating. I control, I go with the rhythm of my breathing in, breathing out. So I do that. I've been trained on the Sufi meditation type. But here's my question. This is what I want to ask. I see so many entrepreneurs, so many individuals trying to, when they meditate, they try to empty everything out and be nothing. But that hasn't worked for me. Because for me to make that empty, it doesn't survive more than 20, 30 seconds. There are thoughts going, there are billions of thoughts that are going through my mind, depending on what I'm thinking that day, what's going on, how I'm feeling, all of these different things. But I'm able to have that moments where I am very clear on the tasks at hand or urgent matters that I have to address in my life. I'm able to concentrate on that and be able to remove all other thoughts and then just focus on that circumstance. Now, it could be positive, it could be negative, doesn't matter. But when I give it attention and I think about it, I meditate on it, most of the time I am coming up with ideas, multiple ideas, how to resolve that issue or challenge, or most of the time is being creativity. That part comes out. But what I notice is a lot of other instructors, they keep saying you got to, you know, clear everything out. For me, clearing everything out is just like you being dead. That's my definition. Like, why would you want to clear it out? There's so much. I got to create so many different things. Why would I want to take that 5-10 minutes be thinking about nothing? Now I can clear it up and focus on one or two maybe ideas that I got. But what do you mean when you say meditate? It's very, very, you gotta tell me what my outcome out of meditation is, for me to get clear on a specific subject or topic, not to run away from my responsibilities, not to run away from my life. I got a wife, I got kids, I got mortgage. I mean, I don't want to run away from those things, because then you're setting up the example that I like to run away from my responsibilities, and meaning that I don't love them, meaning that I'm not in tune with them. I am in tune with it. So, I mean, that was a long question, but.
Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. And I think that that word meditation gets thrown around a lot these days. So I'm glad that you're clarifying that. And for me, how I look at meditation is awareness every single moment of my life. So meditation can be like seated, and it can be awareness of the breath. And there are many different types and different forms of meditation that are more traditional in many different ways. And the goal can be various goals, as you mentioned. How I personally like to look at meditation is my mission or my purpose on a day-to-day basis. And that is changing in every single moment. So you may be driving in your car and you're listening to music, you have no thoughts in your mind, you're just chilling. And all of a sudden, this awareness comes in of, like you said, a decisive action or a divine pull that you feel in your heartstring. And if you're quiet, if you're aware of those thoughts coming in and out all the time, because there's also the thoughts about going to the grocery store and what's the next thing you have to do. And then there's this negative voice that's like, you know, you can't do what your goal is. And then you have the other one that's like, you can do it. And you're constantly hearing all of these voices in your mind. And there's all of this chatter. And the practice of meditation, in my opinion, is being aware of those thoughts, being aware of the chatter coming in and out, and being able to filter which ones are the ones that are serving me, which ones are the higher vibration voices that are guiding me in alignment with my true purpose, my soul alignment of why I'm here on this planet, and which ones are just like nonsense that you need to put on the windshield wipers and back them out of your consciousness. And I think that can happen on an intentional level when you sit and when you breathe, because you aren't as distracted by other things. But that can happen. I believe that meditation is ongoing, even when you're eating breakfast. Are you present to tasting the food as it's going in your mouth? Are you grounded in your body? Are you aware of that? Are you aware of all the thoughts coming in and out of your mind? And can you create space between the thoughts that no longer serve you by being more aware of your thoughts? And I think, to me, that is meditation, and that's what I practice on a day-to-day basis. And if you can sit and you can do a more traditional practice, that's amazing. And, you know, sometimes for me, like, I'm busy, I'm traveling, I'm doing it on the airplane, you know, while people are coming in, I'm just sitting there, and that's my time to meditate. Or maybe it is, you know, 3 seconds before you pull into a big interview, or before a big yoga class or a big speech that you're doing. And it's just taking those few moments to center yourself, be aware of the pulls and the distractions of your energy and those old subconscious programmings that aren't serving you. And from that space of awareness, we can start to clean out, we can start to filter. And
I agree with that 100%. So here's my question. When we say meditation, a lot of individuals think is up here, and we are programmed and trained. As I was growing up, I didn't know the difference between mind and brain. Mind is mind, brain is a muscle. So 2 different things. But I was very, very confused as I was growing up, because nobody clarified that. But then I got clarity on it that it's 2 different things. Now, how much of meditation And how much of you centering yourself has to do with your brain, and how much of it does it have to do with your heart? Because to me, a lot of my meditation, a lot of the things that come to me, I think I'm trying to do my best, so I'm making the decisions not just purely from my brain side and my calculating analytical side. It also has to do with the heart too. What do I feel good inside here versus here? So how do you differentiate between those two?
I think for me, I can feel that in my body. So oftentimes when I'm sitting and I'm quiet, my brain tends to jump to the more fearful space. My brain tends to jump to the logical, the reasoning side. And like I was saying, we can feel the difference between those pings that are coming from our soul center or from our heart, because it's something that doesn't go away. It's not fleeting. Like the mind, the thoughts are very fleeting. They're constantly coming, they're constantly going, and most of them don't hold any true weight. But the things that resonate with us in our heart space, it's like this pull, like we feel this deep sense of connection to those thoughts and to that energy. And it doesn't go away. It's just, it will sit there and it will brew, and it will create heat and energy as an expression within ourselves. So as you sit and meditate, as you're quiet and you're in that reflective state, the more time you spend with your thoughts, the more that you can recognize what's a thought from my mind, or what is a heartstring, what's a pull in of my true purpose, why am I here, what am I doing? And the quieter we get and the more we listen to that feeling, I say listen to a feeling, because for me, that's my experience. And it may be like a warm, glowing sensation in your heart. And maybe you feel your belly start to flip and you start to get tingles. And then all of a sudden this voice, this chatter starts to disappear. And maybe that's what you're saying in those 20 to 30 seconds where you start to experience that. That in my perspective is the magic, where you get that feeling, you get that glow, and then that's where you move your action in alignment.
I'm the most creative when I meditate. And when I mean meditate, again, is just me taking the time, focusing on those challenges, issues, or whatever it is I want to try to accomplish for that day or for that month, whatever the case may be. I may not be able to do 50 things at the same time, but I am able to come up with creative ways to overcome obstacles if there's only 2-3 of them. When there gets 50, then I got to just say, okay, so prioritization. What are prioritizing and all that stuff? And, prioritization is always my wife and my daughter when it comes to stuff like that. So when you say chatter, that's my wife saying you can't do it. Watch out for this. You better protect. And that's, I got a good dynamic going on. My wife is an attorney. So she's on the logical side. I'm on the emotional side. I look at the positives in everything, and I don't look at the downsides at all. I refuse. On purpose, I am very aware of the negative consequences of my actions. I take responsibility for those when they do arise. But during that process, I am completely on purpose, I block all of those out. Now, my wife is opposite. She looks at all those different things, liabilities, what's going to go wrong with this, all of those different things. But I'm all like, okay, so which way works better? They both have their own benefits and pros and cons, but I don't know. She's been getting good results. So I can't say that is not working. So I'm still a little bit, I have conflicting issues with myself. So I'm trying to resolve those, see which avenue, which way to go with that. But it's so cool that we always go at it constantly. So it's beautiful, because now I get the perspective of somebody who's thinking logically. And this doesn't make sense for a lot of people that think logically. It doesn't, because it's not all logical. It should not. The reason why a lot of entrepreneurs read the book and they get results is because it doesn't make sense to them the first time. But when you do it, then you're like, oh, that makes sense. That's why I had to do it. So in life, I think we got to do a lot of things that don't make sense. And then we'll figure out that, oh, okay, this was the reason for it. Same thing with meditation. when I started doing it, I was like, who the hell? It's like weird stuff. Why would you want to waste your time 30 minutes sitting there? Just close your eyes. I'm all like, what's wrong with you? Like, that's 30 minutes. Multiply that by 7 days. You know how many hours that is? Oh my God. Like within 5 years, you could probably have like half of the year just to do other things. But then I realized that if you do that, you get a lot more time back because now you brought it all back together. You centered it. So that to me is crazy. So why should people read Think and Grow Rich?
I think that this book is, if you don't know where you're having, like where your pitfall is in your life, this book will illuminate that for you. Because as you're listening to this book, like as I did for me, as I just reread it recently, of feeling this ping, you'll feel that heartstring, you'll feel that pull. And I'm sure your wife, even in her most logical brain, you know, she felt those heart pings. She's married to you, right? So she's not all thinking in her logical brain.
We don't know if it was the best decision or not. We don't know. But I like to think it was the best decision ever she made on this planet. I think her entire life purpose was just to find me. But, you know, hopefully she's not watching this.
Oh my goodness.
Why are you laughing? What? I meditated on that.
Yeah, and I think, you know, and that's it. I mean, that's the essence of this, right? And sometimes we get lost in our own thoughts in the sea of our unconsciousness. And this book will help you to bring to light those things that are not serving you. And a lot of us have monsters in the closet that we don't even know are lurking there. I mean, just this week when I was reviewing it again, I was like, oh my gosh, like I got to work on this. I got to work on that. So it, you know, you will find the areas, and it will be like, you'll feel it thumping in you of like, that's where I need to focus my energy, or that's where I'm getting tripped up. And reviewing it over and over and over again is again how you sharpen the sword, and how you can move forward to really achieve the wealth, not just of monetary wealth, but the true joy of living, which comes from just following these simple principles. So
what is his name?
I think it's fantastic, and I'm going to recommend it to my team and my colleagues and everyone that I work with in the world of yoga and essential oils, because it is phenomenal.
Awesome. I saw another. I think it's your significant others. I forgot his name. It starts with J.
Yeah, Jim Rohr. Mm-hmm.
Jim. He's a love coach.
Yeah.
Can I get my certification under his supervision so I could become a love coach?
Totally.
I mean, what does a love coach do? Tell me about that. I mean, is it matchmaking, or is it like guiding you through finding? What does that mean?
Yeah. So a lot of it is actually many of the principles in this book of, you know, getting clear on who you are, how you view yourself, how you are treating yourself every day. What you're allowing into your space, who you're allowing into your space, and understanding some of those subconscious patternings. As oftentimes, he's been an acupuncturist for over 15 years, so he would see a lot of people, women especially, coming into the office with shoulder pain or back pain. And once you talk to them a little bit more and you get deeper into the problem, maybe it wasn't just a physical sensation of their shoulder hurting, but really it was actually, you know, they got in a fight with their spouse, or they don't believe that they are worthy of love, or some of these deeper rooted subconscious patterns. And if we can remedy those subconscious patterns on a root level, then we have the ability to invite in true love, and then we can fulfill our purpose. And not saying that you need a romantic partnership to fulfill your purpose. I think you can do that solo, but you can also, when you're in a partnership, there's this fulfillment, there's this yin and yang connection that allows you to move forward in your life in a really beautiful way. And you know, that his specialty is working with women. In particular, he does work with men, but mostly women in their 30s who are really approaching that space of, they really are looking for a partner to create a family with, and they're realizing that they're hitting some roadblocks, and what do they need to do in order to open their energy fields to invite in love, invite in that romantic partnership that they're looking for.
I thought you just go to Match.com and you take care of it, but apparently that's not the
You
case.
can go to Match.com, but if you feel like you're on Match.com and you're like you go in and you're like, oh, these guys are so stupid, and why do they have their headphones in, and they're just doing like car selfies, and I'm never going to find anyone on here, and you're going in with that attitude, you know, just like in the book, you don't have the vision. You're not inviting in, you're not calling in. If you're going in with the energy on Match.com of I can't wait to meet the love of my life on this app, and the man of my dreams is there on the other side of this app, you know, then you're working in a space of attracting that which you desire, right? So he's amazing at all of that stuff. He has a free Facebook group. And
are we gonna get him on our live show? I want to hear it.
Good. Yeah, he would love to be on here.
Definitely. I'm following.
I don't know, Jim. Watching.
Yeah, I didn't see if he's watching. I wasn't keep checking, but yeah, definitely, I would like to have him come, because I noticed that a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people that just walk into the business realm, they do need guidance with that, and that might just open, even just a couple of thoughts, couple of ideas might help individuals be able to. To me, there is no such thing as balance, but some individuals do need balance. To me, it's like whatever is at hand, we got to get it done. That gives most of the focus. That doesn't mean you put everything else aside and they don't exist. They don't do all that stuff. I mean, it doesn't work like that. Like, give you an example. Last night, I left the office. I think it was like 1:30 in the morning. We were really busy. We were doing a couple of things. We were putting an infrastructure together, website. I mean, there was a lot of stuff. And it was like 4 of us on the phone, different things. We were taking care of it. That doesn't mean that I neglected my family. It just means that this was prioritization. We had to get it done. But I do know that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with that, where they do get a guilty feeling. And then that might also cause them not to be able to open up themselves to the love of their life, or be, you know, mentally or physically available to accept others. So we definitely will want to have him on the line, and he could just give us some ideas, and then we'll go back and forth and then see how it goes. But yeah, eHarmony stopped sending me emails. Even though I was married, they thought I wasn't. I don't know where they're getting their data, but you know, I told them, I was about to tell them, if my wife finds out you emailing me, she's not going to be happy with you guys. So take me off your list. It's been 6 years. I've been married. I don't need eHarmony, but apparently they still send you emails to sign up even though you're married. So listen, Jennifer, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Hopefully we'll be able to connect. I am very, very interested in meditation, and I actually have 4 or 5 Instagram accounts that are just purely meditation. So maybe I'll get your opinion on those, and hopefully we could collaborate on those, because I know a lot of individuals ask a lot of questions on that page, and we're not able to answer them. So maybe we'll reach out to you and then get your help, and be able to send some correct messages or give correct guidance to other people.
I would love that. I do a really cool meditation challenge called the Positivity Challenge, where each day for 7 days, I support people with an essential oil and a guided meditation. So it's an aroma meditation where you have like a focused mindset. So I'd love to collaborate with you on that maybe. That would be really fun.
Definitely. We'll definitely be in contact. Thank you so much for taking this time. Amazing. And then let him know. My team is going to reach out to him.
Okay, sounds good.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.
You too. You got it. Bye-bye.